do a little ride along in Kavao's 1991 Honda NSX. And we did a separate video on the specs of this car, so really exciting. We're gonna do a little walk around. Oh, yeah, very low. So we are in Kavao's 91 NSX, going for the ride along.
Having the test pipes definitely gave me a little bit better throttle response, I feel like, on the lower end.
And tell us again what exhaust setup?
So it's Pride V2 RFL, the stainless setup with the stainless test pipes as well. So completely catless car right now.
Wow. And I was just telling Kavao, honestly, I thought it was going to be very loud because it was pretty loud when we were outside hearing it start up and stuff. But when you're driving, the sound deadening here is actually not bad. And we have the windows up right now. We're just cruising through downtown, trying to get to somewhere we can carry a little bit more speed. So this is, yeah, idling sounds, not bad at all. I don't know. Wow, this
idles like a Honda. Idles like a Honda.
I mean, it is a Honda at the end of the day. Like, everything is so simple and so, I mean, it's just super low to the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. Driver focus. So what gear are we in? Second gear?
No, we're gonna go right into first.
Okay. Saying it sounds so throaty. The VTEC is not super, like, not super obvious, I guess, the crossover.
Yeah.
It sounds louder. Yeah.
Yeah.
So when does VTEC happen?
It's usually around the 55 to 6,000. I believe it's right at 6,000 though.
Okay.
But that's when you hear it. But I do think like the crossover is harder to hear with the
exhaust,
the test pipes. Yeah.
And there's no intake too.
There's no intake. Yeah. So when we do a part 2 of the video, we'll see, because considering going ITBs or supercharged at some point.
Wow.
Yeah.
ITBs gonna sound crazy.
Yeah.
I actually just watched a review video on an NSX ITBs, and this guy went from a supercharger setup to an ITB setup, and I don't know, it sounds amazing.
It does sound amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, so
now windows are up.
I wasn't expecting it to be
Old
this
school radio.
Yep. Still works too.
That's a cassette player.
Yeah. So actually, the cassette player doesn't work. The tray, I took the tray out because it was jammed.
Okay.
And I couldn't switch. There's a little switch on the back that sends a signal to let you know that there's no tape in there.
Yeah.
And I couldn't switch to CD player or the radio.
Yeah.
So I had to take it out.
So a little peek of the interior while we're stuck at a light. So, like I said, everything's very driver-centric. I love how these kind of like wraps around you.
And everything's very accessible right here.
Yeah, yeah. Well, at least this one's not as bad as like the Supra, where it's like all towards the driver, you know? Passenger has nothing. I don't know how to describe how this engine sounds. It's throaty. Yeah. It's throaty, and it, I don't know, doesn't really sound like a Honda almost. I don't really know how to describe the sound. It sounds great. It just, I'm so used to the full bangers.
Yeah, and the car definitely, it wants to be in higher RPM. You notice how it sounds raspy below 5,000, but as soon as you start climbing up, it almost sounds like it's a different car.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's just very linear, the power. It's not, you know. it doesn't scare you, but it does give you a false sense of like driver's confidence sometimes, especially when turning.
And you said this car handles great, right? Like
it's amazing. It's very planted going into the corners.
Wow.
And I mean, that is exactly what I'm talking about.
Maybe sometime we need to do this on like a Lime Creek.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. This is where, you know, carry speed to corners, not so much a straight line car. Mexico. We were in Mexico.
Yeah. Oh. In Mexico. Somewhere in Mexico. Definitely not downtown Austin.
Wow. Yeah, this thing is so, you say like 2,900 pounds now?
2,900 pounds, and the goal is to get to 20, as close as I can to 2,800 pounds. Yeah.
Wow. Isn't this whole chassis like aluminum or something like that?
Yeah, it's an aluminum chassis. Yep, that's right.
Wow.
So that's how they kept it very light, very rigid. You know, and a lot of the parts that you can tell when you look under the car, the parts that are all aluminum, because you don't have, this being a Canadian car, you would think there was some rust.
Yeah.
Zero rust.
Wow.
Yep. Except for like, you know, some of the more, the common steel components or, yeah. But other than that, like virtually nothing. That's what the best part about this.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it'll last. I know this car will probably outlast me.
That's crazy. And like I said, you know, this being a Honda built car, I mean, there are guys with hundreds of thousands of miles on the car.
I've got 149,000 on this one, and I plan to put another 100,000 on it.
No problem. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
No problem. Wow. So just done with the ride-along in the NSX. That's so cool. We got the serial number here, number 227. Yeah, this thing is, it sounds amazing. I thought it was gonna blow my eardrums out, but it did not. It's just such a throaty sound. It's just so hard to describe unless you've sat in one. It's super planted on the ground. Kavao was saying this thing, I mean, he has an S2000 too, but he says compared to the S2000, this thing, you know, sometimes you feel like it's tossing you around. This thing is just like flat and planted on the ground. So yeah, he'll be having more mods added to it, a V2. Hopefully we'll be able to shoot some shots of this car in motion, you know, rolling shots, stuff like that. Maybe take it to the twisty roads, but yeah, I think it's gonna be a bunch of fun. Again, thank you for letting me shoot the car. I mean, this
anytime.
is, for a Honda guy, this is just one of those things that bucket list, you know, I gotta ride along the NSX, you know, shoot one, so super awesome. Again, if you guys want to check out Kavao on Instagram, you can link his Instagram page here. Make sure to follow him, check him out.
Maybe next time you can drive it.
Oh, that would be crazy. Well, I got the POV glasses, so maybe.
Yeah.
But yeah, leave a thumbs up, subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.
Thanks, guys.